Welcome back. Thanks for joining me here tonight. Got a little treat for you. Got somebody special who's going to talk about what he does. But let me just give you a sample of that. This particular tune is called Antifa Doesn't Exist. Take a listen.
And thank goodness Trump declared Antifa a terror group.
No, Antifa's just an idea. Antifa isn't real.
What? Who burned down all these buildings?
An idea did. Those buildings were burnt down by ideas.
Yeah, a bunch of us notions got together for a brainstorm session.
Okay, who were those guys that tried to kill Kyle Rittenhouse?
Idea people.
Idea people?
Some of our top notions. They said you could kill the man, but not the idea. We didn't know how wrong they were.
So Antifa is just a group of ideas that riots.
Yes, thank you.
And has uniforms.
These aren't uniforms.
It's just clothing we uniformly wear.
As a group of abstractions.
We aren't an organization.
Okay, so what exactly is the idea?
I don't remember.
Let's call headquarters to ask.
Antifa Seattle, this is Lilith speaking.
Hey, I'm arguing with a right-winger. What's our idea again? Okay, I'll tell him. Okay, our top idea person said you asked too many questions about our theories, so now we're gonna get a whole group of concepts over here and turn you into a memory.
In theory? Like, in an argument?
No, arguing is violence.
We're just gonna kill you.
Don't I have a right to know what the idea is that's killing me?
Oh, right. It's anti-fascism.
Isn't fascism just an idea?
What?
Fascism. It's an idea, right? How can you oppose it when it's an idea?
No!
Fascism isn't an idea. It's killed innocent people and has backers and organizers and funders.
Like Antifa.
Exactly!
Yeah, exactly.
So you admit Antifa's real?
He's using the dark magic against us.
Your rhetoric is violent!
It's just ideas.
I thought you were a patriot! I thought you were an American! America was Antifa when it fought Germany!
But Antifa doesn't exist.
Okay, here to talk about that and so much more is the creator and producer of Freedom Toons, Seamus Coughlin. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, that's a cartoon that we released a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, the audience.
Thank you. I mean, Seamus grew up in the Chicago suburbs, and he's very young. And I mean, you've just been amazing. You are a comedy writer, animator, impressionist, political pundit, and you're known for mainly for your creation and your producing of Freedom Toons, and for you're a recurring host on the Timcast podcast, which is awesome. And anyway, I wanted to bring you on tonight to talk about what you do, how you got there, how it all began, and what your next venture is. So why don't you just start with how you even got involved in this and how you became such a staunch conservative?
Yeah, of course. Well, firstly, I also want to mention Tim is a Chicago guy.
Yes.
So, and he and I, funny enough, we didn't meet until we were much older, but then we found out that we had mutuals because originally, before we moved out to the suburbs, we were from the same part of the city, which is a really funny coincidence. So yeah, a lot of Chicago people out there, a lot of Illinois people out there doing good things, trying to change the national landscape. Even though Illinois isn't saddled with the best government, the people in Illinois are phenomenal. And so yeah, I am conservative, as mentioned. People in Illinois are great, even though the government isn't always. And there's more of us in the area than people might think. When I tell people where I'm from, they assume blue state probably has certain political perspectives. No, certainly not the case. Raised in a Catholic household. I did go to public school. And, at the end of the day, even though my teachers were not necessarily conservative, or certainly not as conservative as my family was, I knew my values well enough to argue against a lot of what they were saying. And I think I came out the other side maybe less scathed than other students were, just because I was brought up with such a solid foundation. And my parents did instill our values into myself and my siblings very well. And so basically the short of it is I recognized that there was an immense raw technological power that existed in media, in television, in film, and in streaming. And I knew, as I know now, of course, that storytelling is one of the dominant ways that people develop their values and learn about the world. And I recognized that the entire infrastructure for telling stories that exist in our society today, with the internet, with television, with media in general, is totally controlled by people who hate our way of life. And so I knew that I needed to try to produce media that fought back against the left in the culture war, because we can't win the culture war unless we are making culture. So over the last 11 years, myself and my team have produced over 700 animated videos, and on the Freedom Toons channel on YouTube, we have over 1 million subscribers, over 290 million views, and that's all with $0 spent on marketing because people are hungry for this stuff.
So it's kind of like a PragerU done cartoon style.
Well, yeah, they're more comedy sketches. I think PragerU will have a pundit come in and talk about things, but like, we're making comedy. We're making these funny little shorts. We're like,
they're very good.
Imagine if Saturday Night Live was funny. That's what we do.
You certainly do. But you started very early doing this type of work. How did you learn your animation skills? I don't think that that's the easiest thing to do, even though you have technical, equipment to help you through it.
Yeah, sure. So I started teaching myself to animate when I was about 12 years old. And I began freelancing probably around the time I was 14. I graduated high school at 18, decided to start a small business in animation production. And I was 19 when we started posting stuff on Freedom Toons. And so at this point, I've just come to the conclusion that it's time for myself and my team to take the next step and make a full-length animated show. And so we've launched that. It's called Twisted Plots. If people want to support it, they can go to twistedplots.com. We already have the full 25-minute long pilot, completely finished, completely animated, so they can go over there and watch that. And they can also check us out on Freedom Toon, as I mentioned, but Twisted Plots is the next new venture. We're going to be able to spread a good conservative message, not through ham-fisted preaching or moralizing, but just good, funny stories that reach people who don't necessarily agree with us to begin with.
Well, it was also reading how you're able to do it for a lot less than even one episode of, let's say, Family Guy costs.
Oh, yeah, a lot less than an episode of it. So what people don't realize is animation is tremendously expensive, and part of why you don't have a lot of good conservative, right-wing, or Christian animated satire that exists in the marketplace is because it costs millions of dollars. And so you need these gigantic corporations to produce it, which means that you have these Hollywood executives essentially determining what kind of animation does or doesn't get made. Over the past 11 years doing what we've done, I've been able to create an extremely efficient pipeline. And I also have an extremely dedicated team of really awesome cartoonists and animators, ranging from all different walks of life. Some people who didn't have a job in animation before they worked for us, some people who had worked for Disney and worked on Disney projects. And they're all working really hard to produce the content that we produce. And with clever budgeting and clever pipelining, we're actually able to produce the entire season that we're trying to get funded right now for the inflation-adjusted cost of one South Park episode from 1997. So, like,
wow.
You can maybe see some modern South Park stuff and say some of the animation looks decent, but season one South Park, it was intentionally crude. It looked bad on purpose. Even so, each of those episodes, they cost $250,000 to produce. Adjusted for inflation, that's $500,000. It's about $510,000. We're going to be able to produce our entire first season for that amount, and actually, we've already raised about $340,000. So we're getting there, and we're in the home stretch now. So we've only got about a week left. The campaign has run for our timeline has been to do it in roughly a month, a little bit longer than that. And so we're reaching the home stretch. If you guys believe that the right needs to take back entertainment, if you want content produced by people who don't hate you and hate your way of life and hate your values, go over to freedomtoons.com, pledge $50. I'm sorry, twistedplots.com. Twistedplots.com, pledge $25, $50. Help us to reach the finish line, because with every donation, a very clear message is sent to the industry. We're sick and tired of the woke nonsense. We're sick and tired of the far left. We're sick and tired of entertainment being produced by people who hate us and hate our way of life and are chipping away at our culture through propaganda and have been doing so for decades. We are ready to fight back, and we want the content to be produced by people we know genuinely believe and who are also grassroots, not giant industry titans trying to come into the movement later to profit off of it once it's popular. TwistedPlots.com.
Oh, it's so awesome. Now, I know I can't remember how much it is, but if you wanted to become a avatar or some sort of like cartoon character in the episode, right? You can pay a certain amount, and you're going to you'll put like Jeannie Ives in there or something.
Well, so we actually sold out of that.
You sold out of those. Okay.
That's pretty expensive. Yeah. But
Okay.
there are all sorts of other perks people can get. For example, if you donate at any amount, you will be able to watch the entire first episode. We've also got other stuff. And by the way, you watch the first episode, we also want your feedback because we've already produced that 25-minute long pilot. We want your feedback. We take our audience seriously, and we know that the way for this to be successful is to listen to you guys to ensure that this is the kind of product that y'all want. So if you go over to twistedplots.com, you'll see there's a whole list of different perks you can get as thank yous for donating based on the level that you donate at.
I love this idea. It's so great to support conservative media and conservative entertainment, and that's you guys. You know what? Let's just go a little bit personal here, though. What's it like working with Tim Pool and the crew? And
Yeah.
I mean, how'd you guys meet, and how'd you guys get started doing that?
You know, it's really funny. I met Tim 5 years ago now.
Okay.
And
Which, by the
is
way, my
crazy.
son's the only one who ever told me about Timcast. I'm like, what? Who's this guy? What? And then I found out he's from Chicago. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, come back here. We need you here. But go ahead.
I don't think Chicago is ever getting Tim back.
Of course not.
He ran for the hills, and I understand it, but you know he's a really good guy. He's a journalist, and he's built a massive media empire at this point. He has millions of subscribers, and he has me on. I've kind of come on there as the resident Catholic for a while, and at first we were working together on a project that involved cartoons, and then I think probably about a month or two into knowing him, he asked me to start doing the podcast with him, and so I became a recurring co-host. And I go on there, I talk about the issues from my perspective as a satirist, as a cartoonist, and of course also as a Catholic, as a Christian. And he's always been very open to it, even though he and I don't agree on everything. He has always been he's always been very good to me and given me a platform to speak my values. He's genuinely one of my best friends. I mean, he is a really, really good dude. We know each other pretty well at this point. And the whole team out there is just phenomenal. When what they've built is really, really something amazing. It is. It's commendable.
Well, Seamus, it says you also do some work with EWTN, Catholic Vote, the Augustine Institute. You're a very learned guy. You're on the same, at the same level of really one of these young folks who has taken their studies seriously about serious issues, as Charlie Kirk did. Did you know Charlie
May he
very
rest
well?
in peace. No, I didn't. And so I just want to mention about these organizations. Yeah, I have done work with the EWTN, Augustine Institute, Catholic Vote at different points in time. These are organizations I've collaborated with, and I am very honored to have worked with them because they're all awesome institutions. As far as Charlie Kirk goes, I didn't know him very well. I met him once, and we did about a 2.5-hour long podcast at America Fest. It was me, him, Tim, Tucker Carlson,
I remember
Luke
that.
Rudkowski, Ian Crossland. It was a great conversation. I wish I could have gotten to know him better. But even though I didn't know him very well, I mean, his death hit me very hard, just as it hit everybody else very hard. I knew full-grown men who weren't even all that interested in politics, who were in tears after he was murdered because it was so horrifying and horrible. But it just goes to show you what we're up against today.
Absolutely.
And he stood up for the truth, and God bless him for that.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you on my radio show. And I want all my listeners to go to Twisted Plots and go ahead and help him out. And let's get this first episode or the first set done for him. Seamus Coughlin, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you guys so much. TwistedPlots.com. Help us to get to the finish line. If you don't want the radical left controlling your entertainment forever, we've only got a couple days left. TwistedPlots.com. Thank you so much, Jeannie, and God bless you.
God bless you. We'll be right back. This is The Real Story with Jeannie Ives.